Do you know someone who's insightful but never really speaks up? Sometimes the most influential leaders are the ones that go unnoticed. They're your everyday people. They may be your neighbors, your peers, or even yourself. Though they may be unnoticed until now, these everyday people will be unmuted through this project. This show will feature some of Knoxville's most standout leaders, including faculty, staff, students, and anyone in the area. We will figure out the tricks to becoming a standout leader, an impactful community member, and ultimately, someone that leaves people better than they found them. I'm Grant Thornham, and I believe the best stories are already silently being told. Now, all they have to do is be unmuted. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unmuted. I am extremely happy to be here on this Friday evening. We got a lot going on, but today I'm bringing on, we're getting a different look at leadership, a different look in the sense that it's an entrepreneurial look. So a lot of people might think, how could an entrepreneur be a leader? We're gonna pick Alex's brain today and see how that works a little bit. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Alex.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. I'm super excited, super pumped to talk a little bit with you. So
Yes,
super
sir.
excited to talk about leadership. So let's do it.
Let's do it, man. And we have a little intro segment for you guys.
For
So
sure. So big thing, everyone always says they don't like mustard. So I'm the CEO of Big Al's Hot Mustard. And my big thing is, it doesn't taste like traditional mustard. So we're going to give Grant a first taste test live for you all to see to show you guys, what's all about. So
yes, sir. Live product demo, and we're gonna touch on his business and everything that he does behind the scenes. But this is one of the main reasons right here is because who owns their own business? That's something that's already hard to do. But then you're making mustard. That's unique in itself. All right, here we go. First test. Yo. Okay, it's got a kick to it.
yeah, for sure.
What's
That's
the
the hot
flavor?
part. So it's kind of sweet and spicy. So you got the flavor comes from we use
Get another one.
jalapenos, habaneros, and a few other hot peppers, and then we also use sugar and honey depending on our version. We have a honey mustard too. So that's the sweet you get, and then you get the little aftertaste of the kick.
The
So that's
kick is so unexpected,
yeah, that's where it comes from. Then
but
that's
it's
like
really good.
absolutely
You can tell that it's not your typical grocery store mustard.
no, definitely
I'm
not.
making hot dogs with the boys. I'm buying this every single time instead of whatever they got at the grocery store. This is phenomenal.
Dude, yeah, I put it on the mac too. I put it in my mac and cheese, and like
Really?
that's the craziest one because you just get like the taste of the peppers, like it's just the hot, and you don't really taste like the sweet. So it's honestly it's crazy. My boys are always like, dude, like no way. And then one of them tried it the other day. And he's like, oh my god, like mind blown.
Yeah.
No, it's everything, bro. I put it on everything. Breakfast
Okay.
sandwiches, big. If you're a big New Yorker, throw it in that cream cheese. Unbelievable.
Man, it's so interesting to me and I want to learn. Well, you've told me the origin story,
Yeah.
but I think it would be interesting if you could first just introduce yourself for the people and then give us the origin story of how this comes to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, I'm Alex Del Vecchio, CEO of Big Al's Hot Mustard. So a lot of people call me Big Al. That's where that comes from. But the mustard started when I was 9. So when I was 9 years old, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to go to a Broncos game. Huge
Yes, sir.
Broncos fan. Love skiing. And my uncle lives out in Colorado. Was growing up in Iowa. My siblings were always getting to go see him, and I didn't get to go because they were older. About when I was 5, I was like, I want to go. My mom said, maybe when you're 10, you can go. You can go. We'll like pushing it off. He's not gonna remember. I turned 10. I'm like, Mom, like I'm going to Denver this year, right? And she said, okay, Alex, like how are you gonna pay for it? And I remember getting this like chores list sheet that was like 25 cents to vacuum and like all this other stuff. And I was not really knew nothing about money, but I did know that was not gonna get me out to Denver at all. And about 2 weeks later, we were in the car, and our family friend Tom called and said like, hey Beth, I'd like you to start selling me the mustard commercially. She had been selling it for not selling it, but like giving it out for about 20 years, just as gifts. And she worked a job as a nurse doing 12-hour shifts, had 3 kids. She basically said, Tom, like I'm sorry, there's no way I can do this for you. I was in the back seat. I remember I literally just instantly spoke. I was like, Tom, I'll do it. Like I'll do it. And so I started selling it to him. And I actually just found the letter the other day, which was super cool.
No
My
way.
first ever letter that he sent me. It was with a check for like $125. And as a 10-year-old, that's a lot of money, which it wasn't enough to get me to
Absolutely.
Denver. But then I realized, if they liked it so much in New York, where he was selling the hot dogs, Then I was living in Eastern Iowa. They were going to like it in Eastern Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up going to farmers markets from the time I was 9 to the time I was 13. And we did about $25,000 in revenue at that
No
time.
way.
Yeah, so like it was super, like the product super popped off, and I had no idea. Like especially being a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, like you have no idea what that kind of money is,
Mm.
and like even growing up, so it was super cool. That's kind of how it started. I ended up going to the Broncos game, watched Vol for Life Peyton Manning set the all-time passing record against the Chiefs. We went on to win the Super Bowl that season. Was super cool. Thought we were gonna win this year.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big Pats guy, so
I hate the
that was a
Patriots.
rough loss. But
Yeah.
that's the origin story, man. That's how it started.
I think it's incredible because you started at 9, you have this idea, you're going to the farmers markets alone. Like paint that picture for me. You're going with the product. How you're 12, 10, 11 years old. How are you engaging with people? How are
Yeah,
you
so it would depend. So depending on the week, my mom or my brother would obviously drive me there. I wasn't walking there by myself, and we'd have the truck filled up with mustard, and I would go hang out. And one of my best friend's grandmas was there, and she's from Thailand, and she used to sell egg rolls. So I used to always kind of hang out with her and be like, "Yo, like, hey, you just got some of those egg rolls. Come try it out in the mustard." But it was really funny because it got me decently good at sales from a very young age. But it's a lot of the interactions were always very funny to me because there were a lot of times it was like old people, like
Right.
the farmers markets were super, like I lived in a town with about 5,000 people, so it wasn't like a huge farmers market. It was I'd probably sell on a good day I sold about 50, 60 jars a week. But it was super eye opening. Just kind of I got into the local newspaper, and it's because some old guy came up to me. He's like, I heard about your story, and like I had to tell the Manchester press what was going on. So it was just super weird and super, especially the Midwestern friendliness too. Like people started coming for my mustard, which was like super cool. Like, yeah, we weren't gonna come this week, but my jar was out. We have a barbecue
Wow.
tomorrow. So it was one of those things where it was super cool and eye opening, and then just kind of forgot about it. Truthfully, like totally forgot about it up until about a year ago that like I really like had a good product and like that I was doing something cool. So
you picked it back up and here we are.
yeah, picked it up back up. Here we are. So
I can't believe that. And I think the fact that you were young really ties well into the theme of this podcast, which is leadership.
yeah,
I mean, you talk about a 10-year-old running the booth for his own mustard company, like that's leadership at the highest level. So, I mean, I would love to hear kind of the challenges that came with that you can remember because that was a minute ago. But then also the challenges of starting it up again and even the successes that you've had. I mean, I'm wearing your shirt, you've got the product, like something's going right. So talk to me about the lows and the highs a little
I
bit.
mean, growing up, it was just something I did. Like I made it. I'd make it one night a week, and it was me and my mom she would help me make it, and it would take like 3-4 hours, and then we'd go sell on Saturday. So it wasn't anything like too intensive, but picking it back up really has been super challenging but super rewarding. For example, like when I first started up, so I rebranded. It used to be called Alex's Hot Mustard when I was little. And then I rebranded because I really got into fitness throughout high school. I ended up losing a bunch of weight and like really found myself through fitness. And so what I realized was like I had a product that was not only like tastes amazing, but it was low calorie, it was all natural, and that we use like glass packaging so we stay away from microplastics.
Right.
So I realized that I could totally flip and do a health conscious thing that has like a good brand behind it and that's helping people. And so when I made that switch, I had to redevelop everything. So
Right.
I started from like the ground up, filed the LLCs, and like doing some of that stuff is super easy. Like you think it sounds super intensive. Like the LLC part took me 10 minutes to do it in a day.
Wow.
But then there's like the other parts which are the legal processes and getting into like I'm working on getting into retailers now, and that's been super rewarding process. But it's also been like super hard, and there's a lot of calling, and there's a lot of like, hey, like I have no idea how to do this. Is there any chance you'll meet with me and just like kind of teach me about this, like how I'm gonna do this process? But it's been super cool and super rewarding overall. The challenges, like I feel like I face a new challenge pretty much every day. I'm working, like I said, I'm working on getting to retailers, and so I did a thing called the process authority letter, and now I'm working on getting the forms for the FDA all approved. And the FDA forms, I was like, oh yeah, it's just one form, and then I go, it's like, okay, it's this form that has 25 subsections.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is gonna take me a few weeks to get done. But for example, like I'm also an ambassador for the Anderson Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation here at UT, and that's one of the. If you don't know about the Anderson Center, I'm telling you, you have any idea about business, you have any idea about wanting to start a business at some point, Go check it out. They offer funding. They offer like business pitch competitions where you just get to talk and you get to get up in front of the stage and talk to people and talk about your products or potential products. Super helpful. And I ended up actually winning one of the competitions last semester called the Graves Business Competition.
Wow.
And so I ended up winning. It was about $5,000 in startup funding, which helped me, start up. It was not only start up, like really ramping up, buying more like bigger pots to make more mustard, and work on getting into commercial kitchens, but things such as like the trademarking, and there's like little things you would never think of that a big company could come steal the logo, and maybe, they have the lawyers and everything else to take that from me. So the super challenging, super rewarding, like I've said. But overall, there's always a challenge coming up, always something new. Super thankful for the opportunities that I've met, in this process, but it's been super rewarding and kind of crazy at the same time.
Yeah, what an incredible, wow. Yeah, because there's a lot that people don't know about the business, running your own business, and it is a lot of those things, the long days doing the paperwork that make it happen. Yeah. One thing before is, can I have you rotate it to the logo just so they can hear you like officially?
Yeah.
That's because it's got the face there. Yeah. I should have mentioned it earlier. Yeah, we'll be good. Perfect. They should have been able to hear you. But yeah, okay. So with all that said, you're doing all this work. You're a student here. You're an ambassador here. What else are you involved in? I know we just talked about this briefly, but
I'm the vice president of Phi Kappa Tau fraternity here on campus. I'm a part of I just joined the lead club this semester. One of my friends is the president, so she offered me to come check it out. I was like, oh, absolutely. I joined that. I'm a part of campus outreach. And and then I'm on part of the entrepreneurship club as well. So those are the big, 5 things I do. But yeah, definitely keeps me busy for sure.
Yeah, and I think that again speaks to the leadership piece of you're not just a leader of your own business, but you're involved in a lot of things that involve leadership. So, I mean, I guess my question to you is to touch on what leadership means to you and how you've developed your leadership skills through your involvement with all of this stuff. Because, like Chase said last time, being the president of a fraternity is very, very difficult. So being the vice president must be right up there with it. So, I mean, there's a lot that you're already involved in. Touch on the leadership aspect of it, and then, speaking to the logo right here.
All right.
Have that face.
All right,
there we go.
I got you. I think leadership, when it comes down to it, is really, at the core, it's knowing yourself. I think to be like a really effective leader, you actually have to know yourself, because you have to be able to make sure that you're at least trying to do the right things at all times. And even if you're not, you have to know yourself well enough to say, okay, this wasn't the right move here, but this is how we're going to pivot. And as you just saw, I just got a call from, we had another thing happen. There's always something happening. There's always a call coming in, and being able to kind of be like, okay, hey man, time management's a really big part of leadership that I've started to find out that I was horrible at before. And it's like, okay, I don't have the time to handle this right now, but here's what we can do. Let's go to these people. Let's go. These guys have the time. They are the ones that are organizing this event. They're the ones that are organizing that event. Or it's, hey man, I can't help you right now, but I can help you in an hour and a half. And if this is a problem we can fix in an hour and a half, then I'd love to help you there. And I think leadership's like, as much as it is knowing yourself, it's also being able to know the people around you. And I think that just comes from, you have to also know yourself to be able to help the people around you. And a part of that's also like the giving nature of it too. Like, to be a successful leader, I really think it is about giving, and whether that's your time, whether that's your resources or your assets, to actually be successful in leading people to become a better version of themselves and I think that's really the core goal of being a good leader, is to actually improve the lives of people around you. That takes a lot of time management skills, and it takes a lot of, like, I used to be a big procrastinator, like I said earlier, and I had to kind of really switch and be like, okay, if I'm going to do stuff, I need to plan my day. I need to start, like, it starts at 6 a.m. when I get up. Shout out Rise alarms for, getting me out of bed every morning. Otherwise, I'm not sure I'd be able to not hit snooze some days when I get 4 hours of sleep because someone's making a ruckus at 2 a.m. because I live in the house. But no, like, it starts like every day, getting up, putting on the best face, putting on the best attitude you can, and just going and trying to tackle each and every goal.
Absolutely. And the time management piece, I think even I've had to start being better about that too, because when you become more involved, which Chase touched on how to get involved and what you can get involved in, but once you're involved, you got to prioritize your time and make sure that you're not missing one club meeting for another or whatever. You're not missing things because your schedule's messed up. So I kind of want to touch on the time management piece. How have you developed that over your time here at UT, and what strategies do you find effective for that?
Yeah, so I mean, big thing, like I said, I'm super into fitness, so I've always found that like whether it's I'm going on a run, whether it's I'm going to get a lift, getting up and active as early as I possibly can
Mm,
is the best way for me to succeed in in like the day completely because I'm up and at 'em as early as possible. And then from there, it's just trying to like it's been really trying to kill the downtime in between events. I feel like is was my always my issue, picking up the phone or going hanging out. Like I live in the house, so it's like, all right,
yeah.
they're all sitting right there on the couch. They're all playing Brawl Stars, or they're outside hanging out. It's 80 degrees, UV's 8, and like I could be out there tanning. It's like, all right, I have a million other things to do, and if I can incorporate hanging out with my friends and like incorporate doing those things while also getting the stuff done I need to get done, then I will. But it's also having the ability to say yes and no, and that's been the hardest part of like learning when is the right time to do certain things.
Mm. I think, yeah, because that's a big part of it. Is last year I was given a piece of advice. I think this is great for freshmen. The advice was say yes to everything.
Hmm.
I think as a freshman that helps you tremendously because you're gonna go meet the people that you need to meet and make those connections. But when you're an entrepreneur and when you're ultra involved in all that stuff, you have to learn to say no to some things, right?
Yeah,
And a lot of
absolutely.
times I feel the same way. I mean, you're 80 degrees outside the house sounds a lot better than sitting in the apartment, but there's still times, right, where you have the distractions around you. So I think saying no is definitely that's definitely a good time
Yeah,
management
a
skill.
1000%. And I think, I also wasn't involved with really anything besides the fraternity up until this year.
Yeah.
And I really, that was something I kind of regret, over my time looking back at UT, where, I've met so many cooler people and not cooler people in the way of, like they're just doing cool things. And that's something I really appreciate out of even like meeting you. Like, you're doing something cool. And I really appreciate anyone who's like going out and trying something new because
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of success, even if whatever endeavor you're doing is you're going to fail. Meeting people that are trying to do cool things is just a successful way to network and make connections for life. And so the best way to do that is go out and like do say yes to everything and do join those clubs that you are interested in because those are people that have the similarities to you. And before I joined the Anderson Center, I had like no idea any of the resources or any of the entrepreneurs that were even here on campus.
Hmm.
And now that like I've met them, I've met cool CEOs. Like CEOs of my favorite companies, and it's like super eye opening and super crazy that like there are the resources here on campus that you wouldn't even think exist because you just don't really know about them unless you seek them out.
Right. And I think that's a big piece of it too is how can you expose students to the resources? When did you find out about the Anderson Center?
So I went to entrepreneurship club like I think believe it was this year. It was one of the first meetings, and they were talking about
Mm.
The Graves competition, and I was like, all right, this is actually a really good way for me to gain funding.
Yeah.
And then I went up there and I kind of like talked to them. I asked them a question about it, and I got up there and I realized, oh wait, there's like this place on the fourth floor of Haslam that is where I do my homework now every single day and do all
Yeah.
my business stuff because there's free coffee, there's free Red Bull. You go up there, you pitch them a business idea, they're gonna give you a free ice cream for the UT Creamery, and there's just all these resources even there. Like yesterday, I'm an ambassador now, so we had a lunch with our new director, and they
Mm.
catered Chick-fil-A. So it's like
Awesome.
I literally just like got up there in between classes, went and met the director, had lunch with him, talked to him about his experiences, and like he talked about how he's met Taylor Swift before. So
Really?
yeah, super like he
What?
has a long story about how he actually directed like one of the first Taylor Swift ads. So
Wow.
it was super cool and like like I said, like people, there's so many cool people here on campus that have so many cool stories, and you don't really know about them until you seek them out.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I got from the center originally too. Like I've been in there maybe three
Hmm.
times, but it seems like the perfect fit for you. It can be a fit for everybody. But as an entrepreneur coming in, bro, now you have all the connections with all
Oh
the
yeah,
people that have something in common with you. So I
absolutely.
mean, it's Haslam by itself. What an incredible avenue to get involved. I mean, there's so many different offices that you can explore, and so I think the Anderson Center definitely deserves a shout out for that, for real.
A thousand
And
percent.
there's every other college has their own stuff going on, but I think okay, this is a little off topic, but what do you think the university could do better to expose students to the opportunities earlier? Because to me, it's like but dang, if Alex comes in here as a freshman and he finds out about the Anderson Center off the rip,
Yeah.
like now you might have had your business back up and running for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, what do you think in that sense? How can you expose people to it?
I think the hard thing that UT has, especially with having so many students, like having 40,000 students, you're not gonna be able to get everyone.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of kids that, truly they don't really want to do anything. They're not interested in that. And so I think when it comes down to it, like if UT could do anything better, it would be when they'll have those counseling meetings. It's not only let's talk about class, but let's take a little longer and say, hey, like what else are you doing outside of your classes? Like, are you involved in anything? Like, make it a mandatory meeting. I do mine online now, but like I remember if I was a freshman and I had to go in and sit in my advising meeting and they were, oh, you're a marketing major. Have you joined AMA? Like, have you been a part of that? And then you join AMA and you're like, oh wait, AMA has all of these other events that they're like, oh, you want to go meet with the NFL guys? Like, they're going to be here on this day. Or, like you're an engineer, like anyone can join the Anderson Center too as well. So like, it's like Anderson Center is a small space, but a lot of our ambassadors are like, they're CS guys, they're engineers, they're guys who have all these ideas. And so it's really just making sure that the resources are there. And I feel like people, as much as they don't want to seek them out, at least knowing they're there is different than like not even knowing.
Absolutely.
Having no idea. So
yeah, you got to make people aware because then you give them the chance to grow it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually wanted to talk about. I should have started with this. Okay, I should have started the intro with how we met. But basically, so I'm a Haslam ambassador, and so what happened was they had the Anderson Center come down and talk to us just about more about the center, right? Because as ambassadors, we need to know that stuff too.
For sure.
And I had, during my practice tours, I had walked by it. But for me, I'm like, I'm not an ambassador yet, whatever that means. But I'm not like going to use this center too much, so I didn't think much of it. But I do remember every time I would give a tour or I'm on the 4th floor, I would walk by and they got the glass windows, and I would see you in there every time. I was like, oh, this guy's a familiar face. Like at some point or another, I'm going to have to talk to him. And then they came to not pitch, but give us the rundown on the Anderson Center. And they gave us the list of names, right? The ones, the Rise Alarm creator and all the other CEOs. And you were up there, and it's like Big Al's Mustard was #1 bullet point. And I was like, man, I got to talk to this guy. And then you end up being a Broncos fan, and it's just, man, the stars align perfectly.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, and I do live up there. Some like even Brianna Hale, our director, always laughs because she's like you are here before I get in here some days, and you leave after I get here. And it's literally because like it is the one space on campus that is like, I feel like I can go and get away from all the other stuff that I have to do and really can lock in on like what I need to get done. And even then, and that's also not even true because there's a lot of times where I'm up there and if you see me in there, there's a good chance I'm totally messing around.
Yeah.
I'm totally like playing like Polo G on the music speakers and like getting yelled at, but it's super fun. And it's like, it's one of those spaces where it's like, it's kind of like mine, like everyone can go, but like when you find there's like, everyone has like one space on campus, I feel like that like is truly like, you can resonate with and you kind of like feel at home there.
Yeah.
And like out of anywhere else out on campus, like I really can go in there and I feel like totally comfortable. And it is sometimes like a zoo because I feel like sometimes I'm in a zoo when you guys walk by with the Haslam ambassadors and like all these parents just start staring at me. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, yeah, I was like doing something. Someone said yesterday they were talking about the mustard. And I literally just started screaming like, mustard!
Let's go, dude.
Like, and she just started laughing at me. And like the parents just were so confused.
Yeah.
It's trying to just make fun of those moments. So,
what a great opportunity.
dude, awesome.
Honestly, here's my thought. I mean, those are some prospective customers.
Yeah.
So if they're walking by on the windows, shoot, you might as well put your mustard on the window and like.
I know we've had that talk. I'm thinking about it. Getting some sort of shelf up there so people can buy it.
Bro, or a tour pulls up. Why don't you pull up and talk about it? Because then I don't know if we're allowed to do that, but if I'm pulling up on the Anderson Center and you're in there, like I might as well drag you out so you can talk about it. Because save me the pain of having to remember it. You're an ambassador and you're an entrepreneur. So I don't know. That could be an interesting way to like make people more aware of your and it's not like cherry picking either. Like you give them the info, give them the pitch competition info, and over $1 million given in funding, and then you can be like, also check out my mustard. Here's a little sample or something.
Yeah, 1000%.
That'd be cool. But away from that for a second, I want to get to know you personally. I think the people want to get to know you personally outside of everything else you got going on. What do you like to do on your free time, and where do you because you might not have a ton of free time with what you got going on, but what do you like to do? What have you been involved in, kind of just outside of the clubs, I guess, that you would do with your boys or any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, I do a lot of like things. I'm a big fan of like trying new things. One of my senior, he was one of my math teachers in high school, and he like kind of like influenced me in that way where he kind of looked at me. He's like, dude, you have done a lot of things. He said, just keep trying new things.
Yeah.
And the thing I took from that is like, it's not that I'm not gonna like everything I try. I just ran a marathon.
Yeah.
Hate running. Hate running. Well, I love it now. It's more fun now because I like have done something like that. But it's really the aspect of like you just learn more about not only yourself but the kind of like the world. Outside of like what I like to do, I love music. I play like 4 different instruments. So,
What?
Yeah, I play like the saxophone. I play the piano. I'm not very good at piano. I sing a lot. We talked about that. I sing a lot. I play guitar. And so music's always been something that like I kind of can like internalize and kind of go back to being just a normal person for a little bit instead of like having all the roles and taking away from that. I love reading. I love reading. I like love books. Been trying to read about a book a month so far
Okay.
this year. We're getting close. I don't know if I'm gonna finish the
Okay.
one for March. We gotta speed that up. But I also like just spending time outside. I love being by the water, any kind of water. So I like wakeboarding, wake surfing.
Nice.
I'm not very good at surfing. I've gone like 3 times.
Okay.
But I think wherever I end up, like hopefully it's by a beach so I can get good at that. Seems like a cool skill to have. Making TikToks, like I know it's people always make fun of it. It's like the cringy thing. It's like when I'm, it's kind of fun though. I go like a lot of times I'm putting up like 5 stories a day of just me like playing the filters, like playing different filters because I like doing it. So, yeah, those are like the main things. I'm super big into fitness too, like I said. So it's kind of aside from that, but anything getting me moving too, super fun. Besides pickleball, dude, I hate pickleball.
You don't like pickleball?
No, bro.
Bro, I'm in a pickleball class right now.
No,
That's like my.
I don't know. I like something about it. Just I don't know.
You don't like it?
I don't know. I've gone a few times. It's that like if people are gonna say I'm bad, I'm not that bad. I'm not saying I'm good. Definitely pretty bad.
Okay.
But not a big pickleball.
What if you were just playing with the wrong partner?
I don't know.
Like if I was your doubles partner, maybe we would have a better time. You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
we'll have to go try that out.
Maybe I don't know. If you don't like it, then we don't got to do it. What about tennis or ping pong? Anything like that?
We have a ping pong table at the house.
Okay.
And I like so the problem with ping pong is I used to like it.
Okay.
And then my brother got way too good for me. Like so he was like so I would go and he would like put the spin on the ball. And he would beat me like 21-0. And so after that, I just got embarrassed and stopped playing. So my skills are very lackluster, and I'm way behind the ball on that. But
brother ruined it for you.
yeah, for sure.
There's so much I could just touch on with, you just mentioned like 5 different things. But I do actually want to relate it back to what the purpose is, which is the leadership portion. I just want to say this. I think people that try new things that is an example of leadership in itself.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to do. It's scary. When you're trying something new, especially, I don't know a good example, but like if I were to try and learn a new instrument, and then maybe I learn a song, like I'd be scared to play it in front of my friends,
Yeah.
But learning that skill in itself, I think, is showing leadership to others because it's inspiring to others. You coming up with your own business and then working it where you have frickin' t-shirts and you're pitching it everywhere, that's inspiring to me, at least, from a trying new things standpoint. But I think that just needs to be recognized, that like trying new things is a form of leadership because other people are seeing that and then they go and start their journey. So like you starting your business and you coming on this podcast to talk about it can inspire other people to do the same for themselves. So
yeah, 1,000%. And then like to bounce off of that, to add on to that, I think there's also a piece of being in leadership and trying new things, which makes you understand people better. And so like because I've tried a bunch of different things, I feel like even though like I might not get along with everyone, I feel like I can talk to anyone.
Right.
Like, I truly feel like I can talk to anyone because I've tried so many new things where it's like, oh, you've done that before? I've done that before. Oh, you traveled there? Like, how'd you like that place? I've heard a lot of good things. And being able to really just kind of switch it. So it's, I've done this and I might not been good at it, but I did step my foot in the water at least a little bit where I got a glimpse of what that person may experience on a day-to-day if they really loved that event.
absolutely.
So, and I think that is also like a big piece of leadership is really being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. And the easiest way to do that is by just doing the things that they're doing. Like, it's so simple.
It's just, that's Wow, it couldn't have been said better than that because it's understanding people, right? Being a leader,
100%.
you have to understand the backgrounds and everything. If you have the stories to talk about it, then you can already relate to them.
Yeah.
And especially in terms of it just benefits you so many ways just trying new things because if you try something new, you're probably going to you're probably going to meet like 5 new people
At
doing
least.
it.
At least.
And then you just by being there start to figure out what makes them tick. Like what do they love about playing the piano or
Yeah.
wake surfing, whatever you're learning, those people already know it. And then again, you can talk about it with other random people and that allows you to develop connections with them, but there's so many different things going through my mind when it comes to that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um
1,000%, dude.
dude, the instruments is interesting to me though. That's
Hmm.
hard. That's really hard to do. When did you start picking those up?
So I believe I like my parents always just say that they knew when I woke up in the mornings because I started singing. That's always been a thing. Like
Okay.
big like if I'm up in the mornings like I'm always playing music, jamming out. But I started playing piano. I believe I was in second grade,
Okay.
and then kind of played that for about 8 years. I took lessons, and then I was in band. I played alto sax in band. That was probably my best instrument out of all of them.
Okay.
And then
Incredible.
actually with the mustard money, so I ended up making enough money where I only not only got to go to Denver, but I bought my first guitar. So I
Wow.
bought the Fender guitar. It's acoustic electric. It's in my room hanging up right now. It's like one of those another cool moment where it's like I gotta look at that and be like, wow, like I really like I didn't buy my first car, my first anything, but I did get to buy my first guitar, which was
Yeah.
a super cool moment. And so hanging up, I get to remember that too. Um, Played guitar for a while. Took voice lessons for a long time as well. So the and that yeah, I guess I spent a lot of time doing it for not doing it as much as I do now, I
Yeah.
guess, but was definitely like a key piece of my life growing up.
That's amazing, man. And I think that it really does require just a tremendous amount of focus to learn that stuff, So I think it just speaks to that as well, your just ability to focus. But I think an interesting pathway for you could be to combine the singing with the mustard. I don't know. You could do some
Make a
TikToks,
little
bro.
jingle.
Yeah.
We did meet. So my buddy Elliot Bragg, shout him out real quick. He's been killing it with the music, and we actually did a little jam sesh about a week ago, and got up in front of a bunch of people and sang. And so he played the drums. A bunch of other guys in the fraternity they played bass,
Nice.
piano, guitar. We sang "This Love," and it was super cool. And like sometimes you forget that you can do things, and like people like especially with the sing, because singing's not, especially being in the fraternity, like going and singing in front of people is not the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like I even mentioned that I was gonna do it, and they were giving me crap before it, and then
Yeah.
I actually did, and they're like, yeah, I wanted to hate this. It was pretty good. And I like as much as I love trying new things, I also hate sucking at things. Like
Yeah.
I hate being bad at things. And so if I do something, especially like in front of people, I'm gonna make sure at least I'm giving 1,000% effort, and then I'm not horrible at it. So
That is fun. I don't know. I just feel like the singing and the mustard.
I might have to work on a
You've
jig
got
there.
all these different interests. You know what I'm saying? And it's just combining them could be interesting.
Yeah.
But that's just an idea for you. To wrap up the personal segment, what if you had a favorite moment to pinpoint here at UT? Maybe it is professionally, maybe it's personal. What would you say that moment is, and why would you pick it?
So that was the one question where I like on the script that I really had to think about a
Yeah.
lot because
Yeah.
there's so many different things I've done here on UT, and like one of the most favorite moments I think was just because of how like influential it was for me, and it is more of the professional side, but there's a teacher here at UT who's he's on the board for BPN. Bear Performance Nutrition, which is a
Okay.
huge supplement company
Yeah.
out of Austin, Texas. And not only are they like they kill it, they do like hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, but they have like they're basically their ethos is like family, quality, like build something that's like meaningful. And all the guys that they like like sponsors of them are ambassadors for their brand are like young guys similar, a few years older than me and you, but are doing the same things. Like they're obviously way more ahead of us, but they're killing it and doing Ironman training, or they're traveling and doing their own like companies. And so it was a really cool moment for me. I actually got the opportunity to get on a Zoom with him about a month and a half ago.
Wow.
And so his name is Nick Bear, and I was actually on a Zoom with him, and I was like one of 3 people in the class that actually got to like interact and like talk to him.
Yeah.
And the really cool moment for me was not that I got to talk to him and like be there, which was already a fangirl moment for me in itself, But it was that the teacher actually then said, he said, like, this is Alex Del Vecchio. You're gonna hear more about Big Al Sal Mustard soon. He was basically like, you don't know him now, but you're gonna know him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really, and I don't say that to like brag or anything or like be bodacious about it, but I say it more because it was super influential for me, and it was one of my favorite moments here in UT because someone like truly believes in like what I'm doing and what I'm building, and someone that like I know, but I don't know on like a personal level. You know, I know him through what he's done, and I know him through like being a faculty member. But he still like showed the care and to email me, even though I wasn't in his class. He emailed me to come to the class to like
Wow.
be in class to be and meet him because he knew I was a big fan of him, and so it was super cool moment for me. So that's by far my favorite. Aside from like being able to spend time with my friends and do like everything about UT is awesome. Like
Yeah.
football games, there could be a million different things you could say. Um, being on the field for Alabama
Yeah.
last year, like there's a million things, but that was like a personal moment for me that I got to experience with someone who is like a role model for me, like a role
Absolutely.
model that like he's actually. And I wish I had it. I have a journal, and in the journal it just says like people I want to talk to, and it's like everyone that like has influenced me in some way, and he was one of them. And I got to just like highlight it.
Incredible.
Incredible moment for me.
Oh my
Incredible,
gosh. Yeah,
awesome.
because and it's not like you necessarily had it planned out,
No,
but
no, it
then it
was
just comes to you that day and you're there in front of them.
1000%. It was super like it was an email I got on a Friday. I was like, hey, he's coming in on Monday to my 9:45 class. I'll send you the Zoom link if you'd like.
How did the professor know you?
So he actually he read my Graves application. So
Okay.
you have to
Okay.
so for all the Anderson Center things you have to apply. It's like an application. You fill it out and then you pitch afterwards. And he was one who read my application. And then I actually met him at another pitch we did through the UT or through entrepreneurship club where it was like a pitch. He was one of the judges for that, and we gave out a little funding from the UT for that, and we ended up winning that pitch. Me and my buddy Max, he's the CEO of Rise Alarms, and he was there, and he was like, is there any chance the mustard guy's in here? I was like, that's me, and like I'd already been giving him crap because he said he was on the board of BPN, and like I was like, no, you're not. And he pulls his sleeve up, and their big thing is like go one more, like go one more in whatever aspect that is, like do one more rep, do one more mile, do one more whatever, and he has it tattooed across his
No
forearm,
way.
and so he was like,
It's like Harry Potter. You
yeah,
just lift it
yeah,
up.
he was literally like, no, I'm not, and he just literally just went like that. I was like, okay, sorry, sorry. I wasn't sure who I was talking to here, but I apologize. But no, that's how I met him, and then through that, like he actually let me pitch. He was like, let me hear your pitch because I know Graves is coming up. Let me see what you've got so far. And I showed him the pitch deck. He's like, this is horrible. Like, this sucks. And I was like, oh, oh yeah. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you have a great story. You have a killer brand. That presentation doesn't show any of that.
Mm.
And so like, and honestly, like if you would have said that, I probably would have lost. Like I ended up winning, and like I ended up winning the
Wow.
funding. That kind of moved a big ball for me trajectory wise here, and then none of that would have happened without that. So,
Dude, what? It's incredible to hear that. Just how the connection developed, and then
oh yeah,
meeting someone that you
1000%.
look up to. And honestly, just from talking to you here, I think it's not just me that's starting to realize this, but like I believe in you. I believe in what you're building here. It's impossible not to. How could you not? You have all these different interests, and you have the habits, and the work ethic to build it. So I don't know. That's an incredible moment though, and it's happened recently. Like this
Yeah,
year seems like it's been huge, in for
1000%.
you just in terms of all the different stuff you got involved in. But if there's anything else you want to touch on personally, we can talk about it. I do want to get to the last segment, not to
No,
take too
yeah,
much of your time though.
no, 1000%. I don't know. I think we've covered a big personal section. I hope. I appreciate it
People
too. I
know what
appreciate
Big
it.
Al know,
I appreciate the kind words too. It means a lot. I like to also say like I don't think I'm like I like to. And you've met me too. Like we met in a very informal way. I'm
Yeah.
a very informal person, and that's something that like kind of also rubs like some professionals the wrong way too. Is like I like even when I like talk to people, I'm like yeah like this is what I'm doing, and like I have the skills to do it, but I'm not gonna like. I don't want to make anyone think I'm doing better than them. I don't want to like try and
Mm-hmm.
think I'm like because at the end of the day like bro, no one. I'm making mustard, but like, dude, someone could go do like I am just a big fan of people doing cool things, and if you're doing a cool thing, like I'm there to support it 1000%
Amazing.
of the way, and that's the last thing I want to touch on because I don't want to. I also don't want to come on here and make people think that like I think a huge part of being a leader is also the ego part of it, and you have to set aside your ego, and as much as that's hard for a lot of people, especially when you're doing cool things, like people say things all the time, and it's especially when you're building a brand too, you see it from the inside. It's like, yeah, I moved a little needle, but like the end goal is here. And so it doesn't feel like a big moment. So I just do want to say I appreciate the kind words too, because that does mean a lot. And then secondly, like I do like even though I'm doing something cool, that does not mean that like I think I'm better than anyone else because I think everyone's doing something cool, and I think like everyone does care about something, and I think it's really just try and find those things that you care about, and then attack them head on, attack them 1,000%, and like head first, and do the things you love regardless of if someone's judging you or not.
Absolutely. And I think you're one of the people that can inspire people to do that because you've done it in multiple different avenues, you know. But I also love that point. I want to talk about that because this is more of just a general life thing. But I think holding yourself above other people is very dangerous. And I never want to look at myself as better than anybody else. And I think you relate to that. It just gets dangerous when you start to compare yourself to others in general, for better or for worse. I have a sticky note in my room that says don't compare yourself to others. It doesn't make you feel good, and if it does make you feel good, it's only for a temporary moment, but I don't think you come off as the dude who thinks he's better. I think you come off as the dude who's doing shit and making stuff happen.
Appreciate that.
But we'll transition into the last segment, which is just let's see. This we already kind of touched on this, but from your day to day, what does being a leader look like to you? I know you mentioned going at things 100%,
Yeah.
putting on your best face. Is there anything else that you do as a leader day to day, or if you have an event for the ambassadors, or you have a pitch competition? How are you showing that leadership? What skills are essential for it?
So I think so. This is actually something that this is something that it's been kind of like my mantra for 2026. I wrote down like I like to journal a lot. So this is and like I just said like the go one more thing. There's that. There's like everyone has like kind of their own mantra. Mine's been raising the floor. So and like what I mean by that is everyone has a baseline. Everyone has a ceiling. Everyone has like where they want to go. I want to achieve this. I want to do this. I want to do this. But the floor is what your day-to-day baseline is and what you're doing every single day. And raising the floor means like every day when I wake up, it's like, okay, what can I do today that's going to improve my baseline for tomorrow? And you can do it. You can do it as an organization. You can do it as a single person. But it has to be. You have to think about where you want to go, and then it's kind of reverse. It's like reverse planning. So it's here's where I want to go. Here's the things that I'm going to need to do to get there. And then here's the things I can do, here's the things I want to do this month. Here's the things I want to do this week. Here's things I can do today to actually like get to that point, wherever that's 10 years, like 20 years, however far down the road is you have to raise your own floor and expect more out of yourself and expect more out of the people around you to actually get to that and to achieve that. So I think it depends, like my day to day depending on what I'm doing and depending on, what, like last week I was super busy with a lot of fraternity stuff. Dealing with like homecoming proposals and everything related to that. And then this week I've been super hands-on, like getting all this paperwork done for the mustard, and I'm really working on getting into a commercial kitchen so that I can start scaling into retail for the summer. And so that's been my big push this week. So, every week it requires a different focus and like kind of, especially managing all those things, it's time management and like, all right, this deadline's coming up, so let's put a little more effort into this aspect of my life. That doesn't mean you put it on the back burner for everything else, but it does mean that, there are some things that are going to take priority, but getting everything done is still equally as important. Just trying to like manage out what's going to be more important in the short run and what's going to raise that floor for like the people around you as well.
Dude, that needs to be on a shirt, bro. You almost put that on the shirt, like put that next to your logo. I don't know. I love that. I've never heard that before. You're almost raising the floor. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're raising the floor until the floor becomes the ceiling.
Almost. I mean, exactly. It's your ceiling's never gonna. I'm never. The goal is never to achieve that. And there's a McConaughey, like he got up there for the Oscars, and he says like who's your role model? It's me in 20 years. Oh, it's me. No, it's me 20 years from now. It's like I'm never gonna get that guy. I'm never gonna get there. I'm never gonna reach the ceiling.
Yeah.
But you can reach the floor. You can reach the floor. You reach the floor every day.
Or it could, I love that. Or almost look at it of we both have our ceilings right now.
Yeah.
But you raise the floor every day until you get to that ceiling, and then by the time you get to the ceiling, there's a new ceiling, and then you just keep building.
Exactly.
But that also just goes with like one of my favorites, which is I don't say it all the time, but progress over perfection. Perfection's impossible, but getting better every day, whatever that looks like, is very possible and very achievable for everybody.
Yeah, consistently good is always better than occasionally great. 1,000%.
Gosh,
1,000%.
the ball knowledge on this show is
I can't
insane.
take credit for that one.
Okay.
That one's definitely higher up wellness, but huge. Love that quote.
I love that.
So
I love good quotes.
1,000%.
That's
Big
some people don't know is I love good quotes. I had a quote board. I still have a quote board with my top 15 favorites. But okay, so going into the last couple questions here. You are our standout leader, at least to me, in terms of entrepreneurship and what you do. You are a leader. How can students coming in become leaders themselves? How can the freshmen come in and build what you've built, but regarding their interests or their connections? How can they do it?
Yeah, especially coming into UT, I wish, like I said earlier, I wish I knew about the resources here on UT before I knew about them. And so being educated on what you are actually I like to say this a lot too. It's my tuition does pay for classes, but I could go to a community college and arguably get the same education I'm getting here. That's not what makes UT special. The UT is special because of the alumni, the resources, and the people that truly care about the university and being a volunteer. And the fact that you're a volunteer here on campus means that you have those resources available to you that are easily accessible to you in no matter what field you're in. Every single college has almost equal resources that they're giving out free things. I took a minor in advertising. I get free Adobe now. So if you're into film, you're into anything related to that, I'm getting Adobe. Adobe's hundreds of dollars a year. So it's you get all these opportunities in front of you and you just have to seek them out. So I'd say seek them out. And then once you figure out, even if you don't know what you want to do, seek out resources.
Yeah.
Because those resources are going to help lead you to oh, I never even knew I liked this. I had no idea.
Right.
And so that'd be the first thing. And then secondly, I would say just, try always to be in a good mood. Try always to treat people with kindness because that's going to take you as far, the farthest you can possibly go is by always, putting away your ego, being able to just talk to anyone, anywhere. And because everyone has their own story and you never know who that person knows either. And so it's all about just building that network and building up those communications. So build your network when you're here. There's 40,000 people in the smallest consolidated area possible. Meet those people. And then from there, just do the things, dude, man, do the thing that you want to do. And don't think about the fact that there's people judging you. Because at the end of the day, if they're judging you, that means they probably haven't figured out their stuff yet.
Right.
They probably haven't figured out what they want to do yet. And they, as much as there's going to be people that are always going to say something, there's also going to be an equal amount of people who see it and are man, that's cool. And I've experienced that a lot recently. Where it's I usually always get called mustard boy or the mustard guy or whatever when I was little, and I hated it. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. I've been trying to own it. I've been trying to own it more.
Yeah.
It's dude, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. And I spend a lot of my time doing it. So why am I, I shouldn't be ashamed that someone doesn't appreciate that. That's not my fault. And I can't do anything about how you feel about me. But as long as I'm doing the right things for me and I'm trying my best to put good out into the world, then man, I'm winning at the end of the day, regardless of anyone else's thoughts. So
absolutely. So
that's how you get involved, and then win at whatever you do. If the end goal is win, do the things, learn the things, forget about the judgment of people, and then go do the things you love with just 100%. Do it 100%.
Yes, sir. That's a lot. That's a lot of great stuff. I think the first part of having the intention of getting involved, that'll help a lot, especially because let's say someone walks into the Anderson Center. I've been using it as an example a lot, but they walk in and maybe they're not the entrepreneur type, but at least they figure that out through being active and looking for those opportunities. And then, I think putting away the judgment is huge. Yeah, you can't, and that's one of the biggest things. I've touched on this multiple times during my time podcasting, but bro, caring what others think of you it's so harmful, and I'm still so bad at it.
Oh, same. Horrible.
But if every single person were to live their life without caring, I mean, even more great things would come out of that,
1,000%.
And I think that should never be looked down upon. And just being fully you, whatever that looks like, is important. And for you, that's a lot of different things, but it is the mustard, and I think it's awesome. And it doesn't really matter what I think or anyone else does, but those are really good tidbits of advice. I agree with everything you said. The last thing we have for this episode of Unmuted, everybody, is not figuring out, but asking you, what inspires you to keep moving forward, man? And maybe it is, what was the company called? BRG?
BPN.
BPN. I was so far
Yeah.
off. But BPN, what inspires you to keep going? Maybe it's a figure you've had. Maybe it's a quote that you have, a book, during the challenges, which there's plenty of them, being a VP
1,000%.
and an ambassador and an entrepreneur. How do you keep going? What's the inspiration?
I think like I ran that I'm gonna use that as an example. I ran the LA Marathon about 3 weeks ago. Um, goal was sub 4. I got like 5 hours and 27 minutes
Okay.
of my official time. Was so far off that, and instantly I looked for a new race. I'm gonna try and run Honolulu in December, and that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But what keeps me pushing is that I think it is one, raising the floor. Like, I think every day I can get better, and I think it's also, I want to also create a legacy. I think that's a big thing. I think legacy is a huge piece that's always been big to me. I opened a time capsule last year. It was like from when I was 10.
Wow.
Like, one of the things that it said was like, what's your biggest fear? And it was people like forgetting about me when I
Really?
gone.
Wow.
Which is super narcissistic as a 10-year-old. Crazy 10-year-old narcissist Alex, I guess. But I think like as I've evolved, that's still like my biggest fear is still my legacy and like creating a legacy. But it's more of, I want to create a positive impact on everyone I touch, and I'm trying to get better at that. And I've failed numerous times. Like, everyone fails at that, and everyone has their flaws. But I think like going forward, or at least recently, my goal has been really trying to be super intentional with what I say, what I do, and like how that's gonna not only benefit people around me, but myself in the long
Mm-hmm.
run. And so creating a strong legacy is something that is super super pivotal, like in my wanting to get better and like wanting to do better and wanting to do all those things. And also like someday I want to have an amazing wife and kids, and being able to at least like give them the life that they deserve is another huge piece of that. Where
Mm-hmm.
I also want to travel. I want to be able to do all these things and go see all these things and try new things. So that keeps me going, because it's like every day that I move the needle on one thing, I know that it opens up opportunities down the road that I don't know exist yet.
Right.
So
I absolutely love it, man. There's a lot of uncertainty, but just doing the everyday things that you do is something that everyone can take away at the very least from this episode. But
100%.
Alex, bro, I've really enjoyed getting to meet you, and I think this was a wonderful conversation. I appreciate you coming on the podcast and taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I appreciate the invite. This was super fun.
This was a great
super
time.
sick setup. This is actually awesome. I love
Yeah.
this. This is really cool.
Shout out to the hub, man. I
There we
mean,
go.
couldn't do without him.
Also,
And
go Vols. Big
go
game tonight.
Vols.
For all my buddies that are out there in the Midwest, a lot of them go to Iowa State. So hopefully this ages well. But go Vols, and clones. This isn't your night. This isn't your night. That's all I gotta say.
The Vols are dancing versus Iowa State as we record, and hopefully, like you said, age as well. But before we end this episode of Unmuted, bring the product to the front. Let's do some promotion,
For sure.
because this is why this is why he's here. This is what you guys need to try before. In fact, like before you even hit the subscribe button, which I hope you do. I hope you also take a moment to look at this product. Alex, tell them where they can find it. Plug all the stuff that you need to.
You can find
for Big Al's.
If you find me in person on campus, it's in my backpack. So if you see me in person, I got it on me. I'll like 99% of the time, and I'll probably just sell it to you right then and there. Otherwise, you can find us at bigalshotmustard.com. Socials, Big Al's Hot Mustard on Instagram, TikTok. So like personal is Big Al 307 on pretty much everything. So if you liked what we did today, super, give me a follow, give me a comment, or just like even DM me, and like if you found something that was memorable, like I'd love to chat with anyone who like has an idea. So that's kind of my job as an ambassador, is if someone has a business idea or someone has something they think they could offer, like let's talk about it. I'd be super down, and I'd love talking and meeting new people. So
Absolutely. And did you want to plug this too?
yeah, we can. There's merch too. I make this is one of many.
Look at that tough design.
with the Big Out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure you just showed your butt to the camera.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can cut that out if we.
But yes, I make a bunch of different T-shirts, hoodies. If that's something you're interested in too, bigalshotmustard.com. Rep the merch. So
Guys, go support this man, because he's going to the moon, but he might need your help to get there. And so this product is incredible. What he's doing is incredible. I appreciate you taking the time, man, and maybe we'll have you on in the future to recap all the stuff you've done
Absolutely, bro. I
a
like
year
that.
from now or whatever.
Yes,
But
sir.
hey, everyone that made it this far, again, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, not only on my content but on his. He's posting a lot of TikToks, that a lot of different ideas flowing through his brain, through my brain.
There is no niche.
There is no niche, and there doesn't need to be. So, I mean, go follow his accounts, go follow my accounts in the Unmuted podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode and learned something from him and from me. And so, with that being said, that concludes another great episode of Unmuted. Thank you, everybody.